Good morning, all of you. Good morning. Today we have reached to the practical number 10, right? And in this practical, we are going to learn break and continue. Already we have discussed some basics of break and continue, as well as we are going to learn the past statement and else clause. Okay. Actually, these are some new techniques. With these techniques, you can easily handle repetitive structures, right? The initial program printing all the characters of a string one by one, right? This is one of the way that we can do it. Okay, I'm going to discuss one by one. In the first program, there's a string. The string is Python. Now this program says for I in range, length of s. Len is a function. The len will return the number of characters of the string. Now the Python string having 6 characters now. Therefore, is length of s is 6. In other word, the value of I is varying from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 5 less than 6 now. So it says print si. That means ith character of the string. Okay. Then we can print these characters one by one. Actually, this is one of the method. This is one of the method to access characters in a string. If you look at program number 3, then you can see another program to access the characters of a string one by one. I have already introduced this second method also. According to the second method, for you can put I or whatever, I in range. Instead of range, you can put the string that you have. Then you can print s. Okay, I have explained both of these not s. You have to put I. Then what happens is the string will be characters will be printed one by one. So this is the first one. This in exercise 1 or in the first one, by using range function, the range of indices are generated. The indices are generated. Okay. Then that I is index now. That index is used to access the characters one by one. Here what happened is we say better put char or something like that. For char in S, char will be, or char or character will be the characters of S. They will be printed one by one. You can remember, I introduced another method for a in. You can put a list. You can put any list here. Hello, mango, apple. Likewise, you can put a list. This is called list. Then print a. Okay. There are three ways to repeat or generate a range in a repetitive structure. For structure, you can use range function. You can repeat over string. You can repeat over list of object. I have explained both all these three, right? So in question 1, in exercise 1, there is a question. Print string. The string Asanka has 3 A's. Okay. Develop a Python program to count number of A's, number of A characters in a given string, right? Given a string. Okay. You can ask for your name or something like that. Input your name. Please enter your name. So we can use the first method or second method. Actually, I'm going to use the first method. I'm going to use len function. By using len function, you can generate, by range of len function, we can generate all the indices. Then we can access one by one. We have to count it. We have to count it. So we can use the initial counter, counter to 0. Okay. If this one, if name of I is equal to character A only, we have to count equals count plus 1. Okay. At the end of the repetition, we can print the value of count. Okay. I use the first method. පළවෙනි එක වගේ එකක් තමයි use කරන්න මෙතන. So when we run, it says enter your name. For example, I'm going to enter my name. Name is the string name now. Okay. So by you accessing the letters one by one, we can check whether it is A or not. That way we can print it. So this is one of the possible program. Okay, so this is one of the possible programs for the question in exercise number 1. But there are many other ways to do this. Okay, you can use inbuilt functions available. For example, name dot count. There is a function called A. By using this function, we can print the number of A's. The name is the string. No, there is a string function called count. Name dot count. We are going to count number of A's in the name. Okay. Any function use කරලා තමයි try. What about second one? Second question. the sum of, second question, the sum of even digits of a number. Second one is also written by using indices. Sum of even digits of a number. Now you are going to enter a number. Look at, please enter an integer. So it is, what you entered is the number. Normally the number is number is as an integer. No? Okay, then we are going to convert it into a string. In that string, we are going to access elements one by one. That means one digits one by one, right? Each character is again converted into an integer. Then only we can use for division and all. Then we are going to divide it by 2. If it is equal to 0, that means divisible by 2, the digit is even digit. Then we are going to add that digit to the total, because the question is, the title is sum of the even digits of the number. Okay. අපි හිතමු දැන් 124 කියලා enter කරේ. In this number there are two even digits. දෙකයි හතරයි. Their sum is 6. Okay. So initially the number will be 124 as an integer. Then S will be 124, 124 as a string, right? I is the index, no? Then each character, for example, first character is 1, no? First character is converted into integer. That is the variable digit. So initially digit is 1, then digit is 2, digit is 4. Likewise, it will vary one by one. Each time we are going to check the digit is even. If the digit is even, it is added, that digit is added to the total. So then try question. There is a question under it, no? So try to do the question, and if you have done it, just put your code into the chat. Okay. If you did it, put the code into the chat. Consider the two. එපා chat එකට දාන්න code එක. We have to use we have to find the maximum. Largest means maximum. That means we have to deal with the maximum algorithm too, right? So I'm not, when I'm writing these programs, I'm not using list. another advanced technique. So I'm going to do it very basic manner. If you are fluent in Python programming, then you can use any technique that you are familiar. Okay, so I'm going to do it in very basic manner. Numbers handle කරන්න තිබ්බම ගොඩක් වෙලාවට strings විදියට අරන් handle කරන එක lazy. Numbers තියෙනකොට ඒක අපිට string එකක් විදියට ගන්න පුළුවන්. Now num is the string, the given string. දැන් අපි s කියලා ගමු. That's easy. Maximum, no? Let's say initial, the maximum is, I'm going to use a variable called for maximum. 7 into 2 කියලා දාන්න පුළුවන්. 7 into 2. 7 into 2 because it is the first 2. For I in range length of s minus 1, because I have to consider 2 consecutive digits, I have to multiply si with si plus 1. So we have to write the program step by step, right? So we can't write it at once. And si will generate these are the consecutive digits. Okay, what we want is 2 consecutive digits, no? Si and si plus 1. Si තෝනේ si plus 1 උත්. The last step, so first 2 digits are 7 2, then next 2 consecutive digits are 2 8 likewise, but here we have to put minus 1, then we will stop 1 before last one. What we want is their product. මේ දෙකේ product එක තමයි ඕන. What we For the simplicity, I'm going to use some variables. Let's say P for product. If this product is greater than the maximum, then the maximum must be equal to the product. Then you can print the maximum. 72 දෙන්නේ 9කට 72. මේක list එක inspect කරලා බලන්නත් පුළුවන්. 14, 16, we can see that 72. The question is develop a Python program to find the largest product of 4 consecutive digits. එකම එක ළඟ 4ක් වගේ ආවම හිතෙන් හදන්න තමාරුයිනේ. 4ක් නේද? එතකොට මේකෙන් තව දෙකක් අඩු කරන්න ඕනේ. එතෙන්ට තව ටිකක් මේ වගේව දාන්න වෙනවා. I plus 2, I plus 3. එතකොට හරියන්නේ. හදපු කට්ටියට මේ වගේ දාවේ. Answer එක මේකද final answer. Is this the final answer? Yes, it is. හරිනේ. ඒක තමයි ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ. So I did this very basic manner, right? Then it says you have to try projectual question 4 and 8. මේක අපි ස්කෑන් කරන් යද්දි දැන් අපි නවත්ත අන්තිමේකට වෙනකම් යන්න ඕනේ නෑනේ. මොකද අපි මෙන්න මෙතෙන්ට වෙනකම් ගියන් ඇති. මෙතෙන්ට ආවන් පස්සේ එතනින් i කියන එක මෙන්න මෙතෙන්ට ආවන් පස්සේ එතනින් එහාට ටික i+1 i+2 i+3 කියලා තියෙනවනේ. ඒ මෙන්න මේ ස්කෑන් එක තමයි මෙන්න මේ ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එක තමයි අන්තිම ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එක. ඒකින්ද තමයි මෙතෙන්ට අපි දාන්නේ -3 කියලා. මේකේ මැක්සිමම් එක හදන්න ඕනේ මෙතන 7 into 8 into 4 කියලා හදන්න ඕන. ඒකට ඉතින් මෙහෙමයි ඩමි වැලියු එකක් දැම්මත් ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. මොකද මේ ඔක්කොම අනිවාර්යෙන් පොසිටිව් නේ ඩිජිට්ස් වලින්. එතකොට මෙතෙන්ට 0 වගේ දැම්මත් ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. So initial maximum can be either 0 or any other value. So better to put the first value. Right, all of you, then try to do projective question number 4. Projective question number 4. මම හිතන්නේ ඔයාලා කරලා නැත්නම් මේක ගෙදරදී කරන්න try කරන්න projective ප්‍රශ්න ටික. Palindromic numbers. Palindromic numbers read the same way, same both ways. For example, if you look at 124, if you read it in one way, normal way, ordinary way, it is 124. No? If you read it from other direction, first digit is 4, 4 to 1, it is 421. Palindromic numbers read the same both ways. For example, if you 121 is a palindromic number because in both direction 121. 55 is palindromic, 55, 55. 1001 is palindromic, 1331 is palindromic. One is palindromic, two is all the two one digit numbers are palindromic, right? The largest palindromic made from the product of two digit numbers. Product of two digit numbers is this one. So you have to, the number should be palindromic. At the same time, it should be product of two digit numbers. Find the largest palindromic made from the product of three digit numbers. The test case is given for 9009. That is a test case. You can check your program with that test case. You have to try it for three digit numbers. So we have to do two things. We have to check whether number is palindromic. We have to check whether it is palindromic. Palindromic. මේ වගේ අලුත් වචන ගොඩක් හම්බ වෙනවා. For example, 100 121 is palindromic because it's same, both directions same no. 4 x in range, 2 digit. First 2 digit number is 10 to 100. So this will generate all the 2 digit numbers. All the 2 digit numbers. 10, 11, 12, 10 to 99. So we have to multiply 2 such numbers. Then for y in range. I'm code ලියන විදිය ඔයාලා නිකන් බලන්න අපිට එකපාර කෝඩ් එක ලියන්න බෑ, right? Now we have xy, both xy. These are the all the possible 2 digits number. Then 10ත් එක්ක අරක 90ක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. So these are the all the possible 2 digit numbers. What we want is their product. What we want is not xy, what we want is their product. ඒකෙත් අපිට ඕන largest එක තමයි ඕන. Let's say number is x into y. එහෙම ටික ටික හදා ගන්න ඕන, තේරෙනවනේ? Number is xy. So now we have to check whether this number is palindromic. If better to convert this into mama n කියලා ගන්නම්කො ලේසියට. If strn is equal to you can remember way that generating reverse order. මේක විදියට පුළුවන් reverse කරගන්න, මතකයිනේ? This is a string, no? That is string will be in reverse order. මේ තියෙන්නේ palindromic set එක විතරයි දැන් print වෙන්නේ. I'm going to convert n into string, and this is the string in reverse order. That means one way and opposite way. This is the n is the forward way, and this is the backward. No, you remember this notation that we use. These are the list of palindromic numbers. 858 656. These are all the numbers. What we want is the largest one. So initially you can think that the largest one is 1 or something like that. Now when it is a palindromic number, if that number is greater than maximum, the maximum must be equal to n. What we want is the maximum. හරි 9009 කියලානේ එන්නේ. So what we have to do is we have to calculate this for 3-digit numbers. 3-digit, that means this should be 100 to 1000. 100 to 1000. I think that is the only change that we have to do, right? There's an answer, no? Problem 4, yes, that is the expected answer. This is palindromic, no? Yeah, it is palindromic number. But you can see that it will take a little bit time to run the program. But වෙලාවක් ගිහිල්ලා තමයි එන්නේ. XY වලට එන්න පුළුවන් ඔක්කොම combinations ටික එනවනේද? All of you, we can do something like this. We can start from 999. We can start from 999, okay, and go to 99. Step size is -1. The කලින් විදියට උනේ 10 ඊට පස්සේ 11 එහෙමනේ ගියේ. Now opposite manner. කියන්නේ අඩු වෙවි යන්නේ. You can think that this program is little bit faster than the previous one, because always largest values having this method is faster than previous method. මොකද ඉස්සෙල්ලා කරන්නේ පොඩි ඒවා වැඩි කර ලොකු ඒවට යන එකනේ. එතකොට නිතරම maximum එක update කරන්න වෙනවා, right? But in this approach, at the beginning we will find the largest number. The next set of numbers will not be greater than the current maximum. We have to find the largest palindromic number, no? That's why this the last if is used to find the maximum. M for maximum. Palindromic. එකන්නේ දෙපැත්තටම එකම number එක කියවෙනවා නම් තමයි palindromic කියලා කියන්නේ. මේකේ තියෙන palindromic කියන්නේ මොකක්ද කියලා. Palindromic number reads the same both ways. 9009 දෙපැත්තටම ඉස්සරහට ගියවත් පිටිපස්සට ගියවත් එන්නේ 9009 කියලාම. The problem 8 is very similar to the example that we discussed for 20-digit number. It's about 1000-digit number, and you have to find the largest 13 consecutive digits, largest product of 13 consecutive digits. මෙතන m එක දාලා තියෙන maximum එක ගන්න. m එක maximum අපිට ඕන ඒ numbers ටික palindromic numbers වලත් maximum එකනේ. ඒකින්ද තමයි අන්තිම if එක දාලා තියෙන්නේ. Okay, so you can spend some time later. You can spend some time to complete them. Then we will move into third question, third exercise, and fourth one. All of you. Already we have discussed third one. Third one, now you are familiar. The fourth one is the number of A's in your name, similar to that exercise one. In this program, the method uses the char in name instead of index. We have used the string directly. Okay. කට්ටිය එක එක ප්‍රශ්න අහන මම මේ පොඩ්ඩක් පැහැදිලි කරන්න ආපහු එකයි. මෙහෙමනේ 4A in range 10 to 5 10 to 5 step size -1 දැම්මම පස්සේ මොකද වෙන්නේ? 10, then -1 9 up to 5, but 5 is not included, no? That's why I have put 999 to 99. And you can remember strings. String 1 2 3 4 is the colon operator. Here all the characters, no? Now also all the characters. If you put negative step size, if you put 1 1 by 1, if you put 2 2 by 2, if you put -1, it is in opposite direction. එකයි මෙතන මේ කරලා තියෙන්නේ. This is string is in reverse order. Okay. Step size is empty. Start value is empty, end value is empty. Empty step size is -1. In reverse order, we have discussed this earlier. When you are doing problem 8, first you have to copy it down from the website. 100-digit number එක copy කරගන්න. Later I am going to discuss this under the file handling section. We will save this 1000-digit number into file, and by using file we can access this. Okay. අපි යන් එහෙනම් exercise 4 and 5, 3 and 4, I think no need to discuss already. I have explained it. Okay, we will move into exercise 5, right? අරක එමින් ඉවර කරගන්න එක දැන් ඔයාලා දන්නවා. හැමෝම we are going to discuss the break statement. Break. හැමෝම පස්වෙනි එක බලන්න. Exercise 5. For x in hello world, if x is equal character L, break. Now what happen is the initial value of x is h. Next x will be e, l, l. Likewise x will be the characters of the string. No, we will, right, they will assign one by one. If x is equal to l, the break statement is run. When it is third case, third character, the break statement is run. So you can remember what happened when break statement is run. The entire repetitive structures break without continue. හරිනම් මේකේ හැම අකුරටම යන්න ඕනේ. එහෙම නැහැ. ටක් ගාලා break වෙනවා. Okay? Because there are some cases we have to break without continuing. We have to break. I have put another example there. Now there is a name. In a particular name, we want to find whether a specific character is available. For example, in your earlier we wrote a program. No, in that program we did how we calculated number of a characters in the name. Now what I want is I want to know. I want to know whether a is available or not. Right? So name for char in name. For char in name. Right? So char will be character of the name. No? If char is equal to a, so we are going to print a is in your name and break. Right? If you did not break, what happened? Let's say 3a characters in your name. So this a is in your name will be printed 3 times. We'll see. I'm going to run this without break. Now it says enter your name. I'm going to enter my name, Asanka. It says a is in your name, a is your name, a is your name. The condition is the character is equal to a. No? When it is satisfied, it will say this is. But the thing is then it is sufficient to know. It is sufficient to achieve one instant. So we are going to break. Always when it is break the repetitive structure. මෙහෙම අසංක කියලා දැම්මම පළ එක මුල්ම එක ආව ගමන්ම නවතිනවා. Right? I think this is another example to explain the repetitive break statement. Okay? These are very basic programs, right? Fundamental programs to understand fundamental concepts. So we will fill this blank. If the break statement is run within a repetitive structure, the repetitive structure is break. Repetitive structures break. Stop. Okay? Break එක ගමන් break වෙනවා. Break. Right? You can remember factorization. Right? Now n is a number. Int enter an integer. Look at. Now I want to find the factors of n. Okay? For a in range 1 to n plus 1. Print a means all the numbers. No? All of you look at the screen. In this program, you can find all of you, when we print enter integer, for example 12, right? So now a is 1 to 12 now. So I'm going to put if n percentage a, the remainder of n divided by a is equal to 0, only print. So this will print all the factors of the given integer. 12 දැම්මොත් 12 ඔක්කොම factors එනවා. You can remember prime numbers. Prime numbers, if you want to test any number is a prime number, prime number means number, let's say p is a prime number, p must be greater than 1. Prime number එකක් වෙනකොට එකට වඩා වැඩි එකක් වෙනවා. Integer, the only factors are 1 and p. The only factors are 1 and p, right? Only factors are 1 and p. So definitely 1 is a factor, no? So we don't have to check for 1. And if you put n here, n is not included, no, n excluded, then we can find the factors of the, we have to put 2, right? 1 is not in 2, then 1 other than 1 and 12 we can find other factors. Thing is that if the number that you have entered having at least one factor in the range 2 to n minus 1, right? Then it is not a, එහෙම එකක් ආව ගමන් අපි කියන්න ඕන a is a factor. Now what I want is not to find factors. එක prime එකක් නෙවෙයි කියලා තමයි කියන්න ඕන. See what happened when I enter 12, it says 2 is a factor, 12 is not a prime. මේ ඔක්කොම ඒව කියනවා. මොනවා හරි ඔහම එකක් දාලා බලමු, දන්නේ නැති එකක් වුණා. Factors ඔක්කොම මේ වෙනවා. So such situation what we have to do is we have to suddenly stop. We have to suddenly stop now. If one factor is detected, we have to suddenly stop. So we can use the break statement. කලින් number එකම දාන්න බලන්න මොකක්ද වෙන්නේ. 11 is a factor, it's not prime. Okay, so this is this break statement is widely used in prime number calculations. Here the exercise 6 is the program. Okay, 2 to n or n percentage r is not a factor and break. You can try exercise number 6. 6 එක පොඩ්ඩක් කෝඩ් කරලා බලන්න. මොනවාට ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නම් අහන්න. So better to try this prime tester, right? With break statement. It's a very fundamental program in computer science. Okay, I'm moving to continue statement, all of you. Continue statement. Just look at this program. This is one of the previous program that we wrote. All of you, you can remember when we use break. Look at the screen, all of you. Later you can complete that problem, exercise 5 and 6, right? So when we run this program, you can remember when the character is equal to L, the break statement is run. Break statement is run. That means suddenly the repetitive structures break, stop. So if you use continue, instead of break, see what happened. Hello, here I will H-E-O, the two L's are missing because of that continue. And again at the end there is a L, no? So I will put it like this, end with empty, end with nothing. You can see that the same string is printed without L, without printing L, because when X is L, the continue, right? You can remember when it is continue, continue with it's a short time break. We call it that the break statement break the entire repetitive structure. No? The continue statement break the current iteration, right? So current iteration or current step, repetitive structure means repeat the same thing again and again. So if the continue statement is run, the current iteration, so in the current step we have to print X, no? But without printing X, that means without printing L, continue the next step. That's why the term continue is there. Okay, and I have put another program here. I will see, I can't remember what I have put there. I think it is calculation of A. Look at all of you. Yes, that the number of A's in your name. Now, for character in the name, now what I'm going to do is the condition is character is not equal to A. If character is not A, the continue statement is run. This is the repetitive structure now. If the character is not A, if the character is, this is not A, continue statement is run. Therefore, this step is bypassed. This step is bypassed. Without completing this step, go to the next step. Right? Therefore, the counter is not increased. If it is A, the continue statement is not run. Therefore, counter is increased. Right? A අකුරු ගාන print කරන එකම තමයි මේකෙත් වෙන්නේ. But here අසංක කියලා මම ගහලා බලමුකෝ. 3 A's in your name. Clear? So, in other words, we can think that continue is the opposite of break statement. Okay. So we will fill this blank. If the continue statement is run within a repetitive structure, the repetitive structure is what we have to put is continue without completing the current iteration, without completing the current step, or we call best term is iteration, current iteration. දැන් තියෙන එක කරන්න නැතුව දැන් තියෙන එක break කරලා ඊළඟ එකට යනවා. Okay, continue without completing the current iteration. අර දැන් කරන step එකටනේ current iteration කියන්නේ ඒ step එක bypass වෙනවා. So in day-to-day life, we have practice of using the break and continue. Let's say you are reading a book. Or you are doing a tute. Okay, continue without completing current iteration. Let's say you are fluid mechanics kanna. Okay, homework 1. Let's say the first question you did, the second question did, third question is very difficult. You are not going to do any more questions. So what is the statement that you use? Break or continue? When there is a difficult question, you are going to stop the entire homework. That is break statement, right? So if there is a difficult question, you are going to keep that question and go to the next question. That is the continue statement. Normally when you are doing a paper or examination paper, you have to follow the continue statement. Okay, you have to follow the continue statement. If it is a difficult question, just keep it and go to the next one. That is the best practice in the case of an examination. Even in a homework එකත් එහෙම තමයි වෙන්න ඕන. So you have heard this term. The love affairs break වෙනවා කියලා කියන්නේ අහලා තියෙනවනේ. Love affairs break වෙන අහලා තියෙනවනේ නේද? So what about the marriage life? Is it continue or break? There are problems, no? There are mismatching situations and all. Usually when it is marriage life, when there is a problem, you have to continue. Okay, but when it is a love affair, what happens is break. Sometimes there may be continuation. Okay, right. So better to try the seventh one. Then you can go to, you can uh, better to do seventh one. I will explain eighth one. Hmm? Eight. Okay. Look at the screen now. All of you look at the screen. Yeah, I'm going to explain factoring example. For example, if you want to find factors of 12, right? 1 to n plus 1. Look at this. This is a program that will print the factors of 12. factors of 12. So I'm going to use a different logic here. If I put not equals, so these are the numbers in between 1 to 12 which are not factors of 12. All of you look at this. This says whether it's a factor or not equal 0 means not factors. So if it is not a factor, what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue and this statement, this print is not under the if statement now, it is under the for structure. Under the for structure, there are under the repetitive structure, there are two lines. One is if, right? Other one is print. If it is not a factor, continue. If it is not a factor, continue. That means if it is not a factor, this line is bypassed. This line is bypassed, right? If it is a factor, continue is not run. Therefore, print R, right? Factors ආපු නැති ගමන් bypass වෙලා යනවා. So this is another way of printing factors. This is another way of printing factors by using the continue statement. Okay, I think with that these examples, you have some idea about the break and continue. Okay, all of you, now I am going to demonstrate multiple loop situation, or we call nested loop situation. All of you look at this program. For x in range 1 to 6, for y in range 1 to 4, 1 to 5. Okay, I'm going to print both xy. I'm going to separate it by a tab, right? And I go tapi kalinut liuwe එකක් තියෙනවා. Look at this. This program will print \t. Separated by comma, end with the tab. Okay. බලන්න මේ කෝඩ් එක තේරෙනවද කියලා. Printing xy 1 comma 1 with the next xy product, with the next xy print, they are separated, right? And at the end, sorry, these x and y are separated by comma, right? And it is ending with a tab, not a new line. This is a tab, right? For when x equals 1, y equals 1 2 3 4 and printed. So once we completed the inner loop, print a blank line. That because of that, go to the next line. Okay, now I'm going to put a break here. If x equals 3, put a break. තුන ආපු ගමන් තුන්වෙනි line එක print වෙන්නේ. This break is under the this break statement is under the outer loop. No? Therefore, entire outer loop is break. That means definitely inner loop is break. So if you put it here, Now I put it under the inner loop, right? When x is 3, the brake is run. This brake is always effective to the loop containing brake. Now the loop containing brake is inner loop. No? Therefore, inner loop will break without repeating its rest of the operations. Right through YA vertical print to break. Okay. So always the break and continue are affected to the loop containing brake. එළිය loop එකේ නම් brake එකේ තියෙන. ඒතර එළිය එක brake වෙනවා. ඒතර ඇතුළේ එක කොහොමද brake වෙන්නේ? If the brake statement is within an inner loop, then the inner loop is break without breaking the outer loop. Right? ඒක continue දාලත් ඉතින් බලන්න පුළුවන්. brake එක වගේම තමයි continue එකටත් වෙන්නේ. ඒක continue එක එතෙන්ට දාලා හරියන්නේ නැහැ. අන්තිමට continue දාලා වැඩක් නැහැ හැමතිස්සෙම. continue එක දාන්න ඕන මොකක් හරි එකකට කලින්. x වලට 3 ආව ගම 3 තියෙන ඒවා එකක්වත් එන්නේ නැහැ. Okay? When x equals 3, all the y values are skipped. එතෙන්ට දැම්මත් ඒ වගේම එකක් තමයි එන්නේ. Right? මේක print වෙන්නේ නැනේ. කලින් කියන එක print වෙනවනේ. Okay, I think you have some idea about right. I have to discuss two more things. One is the pass statement. All of you, pass statement. Now, if look at this one, pass statement. Yeah. It's a simple program to find factors. All of you, 12. 1 to 12. If it is a factor, so normal. This is our usual program, right? We are finding factors. Now, if I use not equals, then none factors in the range, right? So if I put else statement, and put this print under that, then definitely again printing factors, no, right? But the thing is that if you put a if statement, you have to put at least one command. මොකක් හරි command එකක් දාන්න ඕනේ. මේ මොකක් හරි එකක් ඔය වගේ දාන්න ඕනේ. Right? Then if it is not a factor, a is 1. Otherwise, that means else. Otherwise, if it is a factor, print r, printing factors. So in this code, in this logic, if you are going to use this manner, you definitely must put something to fill the blank. Such situation, you can use pass statement. Okay, you can use pass statement. මොකක් හරි දාන්න ඕන තැනක් තිබ්බොත් එතෙන්ට pass කියලා දාන්න. Now, for example, if you want to implement while true means it's a repetitive structure, no? It's a infinite loop, no? But you have to put some code in there. මොකක් හරි code එකක් දාන්න ඕන. So you can put pass. Then print last line. What will be the output here? What will be the output? condition is satisfied, no? That will be the output. All of you. So this is an infinite loop, no? This is an infinite loop, no? Therefore, definitely it will not come to this print. It's a repetitive or infinite. Even if you use continue them, it will not reach to the last line. It's an infinite loop. But if you use break statement, you use break, then definitely it is break and come to the last line. Okay, that is the pass statement. Blank Okay, pass is a null operation. Null nil කියලා කියන්නේ සිංහලෙන් null. මොකුත් වෙන්නේ නැහැ, nothing. Pass is a null operation when it is executed. When it is run, nothing happen, right? Nothing. මොකුත් වෙන්නේ නැහැ, nothing. When it is executed, no operation. නැත්තම් ඒකට no operation කියලා කියනවා. Nothing කියලා දාමු නැත්තම් nothing. Nothing happens. It is useful as a placeholder. අල්ලගෙන ඉන්න විතරයි ආවුන වෙන්නේ, මොකුත් කරන්නේ නැහැ. It is used as a placeholder when a statement is required syntactically. According to the syntax, according to the rules of the language, you must put something, but no code needs to be executed. According to the grammar, syntax means grammar. According to the grammar, you must put something, right? But according to the logic, you don't have to put anything. Factor එකක් නෙවෙයි නම්, if it is not a factor, we don't have to do anything. ඒකනේ අතන උනේ, factor එකක් නෙවෙයි නම් මේ factor එකක් නෙවෙයිනේ දැන් මෙතන. factors විතරයිනේ print කරන්න ඕනේ. factor එකක් නෙවෙයි නම් මුකුත් කරන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. Okay, that's why we have put it like. Right, we will move into the last part, which is this pass is applicable. This pass statement, all of you, the pass statement is applicable for both, right? It can be used anywhere. Both, it can be used anywhere within the code. You can put the pass statement anywhere. මේ ඕන තැනකට pass කියලා දැම්මට කවුරුවත් තරහ වෙන්නේ නැහැ. නිකන් pass කියලා දාන්න. ඕන තැනක pass කියලා දැම්මට ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ, right? But the break statement and continue statements are only applicable with, they are only effective within they are only applicable within the repetitive structure. And also you have to use break statement or continue statement with if condition. Otherwise it is not useful. Otherwise definitely continue, definitely break, no, right? So you have to do it conditionally. Therefore you have to control repetitive structure, whether it is break or continue. You have to use a condition, right? We are moving to the most interesting part, else. Look at this. For x in range, for x in range 5, all of you, X in range 5, print hello. Print hello. This is very first one, right? This will run. This will print hello for 5 times. Okay. This else, you can see that is else. This is not if else statement. Clear? It's a for else statement. World. What do you think? Hello, 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 world. At the end, you can find world. For X in range 5 is a repetitive structure to run 5 times, no? Right? So it will run 5 times and 5 hellos will be printed. 5 hellos will be printed. 5 hellos will be printed. After doing it neatly and nicely, what happened? Print world at once. Okay. So this is the syntax. Syntax means along with the for statement or while statement, you can use else. This is a special feature available in Python. It is not available in other programming languages. Okay. So what happened is first complete the repetitive structure. After completing the repetitive structure, go to else. The thing is that if we use if x less than if x greater than 5 3, if x greater than 3, I'm going to use break. Okay, you can see that somewhere x will be 3, no, greater than 3, no? Then what happened? 0 1 2 3 x greater than 3. X, when x is 4 hello is printed, but now x is greater than 3, then break statement is run. When the break statement is run, you can see that it is break. When the break statement is run, break with else 2. else එක ඇතුළේ තියෙන එකත් එක්කම තමයි break වෙලා තියෙන්නේ, right? But the simply with a for statement you can use else. So what happens is first it will try to complete for repeat. After repeating, it will go to else, right? But if the repetitive structure is break by break statement, if the repetitive structure is break by break statement, then the command within the else will not run. I have a better program here. Enter your name. Okay, cha is a character in your name, no? If cha is equal to a, if cha is equal to a, print a is in your name and break. Let's see. My name is Asank. A is in my name, no? A is in my name, therefore break statement is run. So this one will not print. A is not in your name, right? Say name Dilini. When it is Dilini, go one by one, D, I, L, and I, like rise one by one, but never meet this condition. The character is equal to A. Okay, character is equal to A. Therefore, never the break statement is run. Therefore, After doing all the iterations within the repetitive structure, go to the else. ඔක්කොම හරි ගියේ නැතොත් එකක්වත් හරි ගිහිල්ලා නැතොත් බ්‍රේක් වුනේ නැතොත් අන්තිම ඔප්ෂන් එක තමයි ඒ තියෙන්නේ. බ්‍රේක් වුණොත් ඔක්කොම බ්‍රේක් වෙනවා. අපි මේකේ කෝඩ් එක පොඩ්ඩක් ලියාගමු. We will complete this, okay? If a repetitive structure is terminated without executing the break statement, I will give you an example for this, okay? This is the first time that I'm going to give this example, okay? Let's say there is a boy, right? There's a boy who is trying for some girls, right? With a love affair. There's a boy. The boy is Cha, right? The name of the boy is Cha. So try to have a love affair with a girl, right? So let's say in the university, in university there are, in the batch there are 5 girls, let's say. Okay, there are 5 girls. So his objective is to try these girls one by one. Okay, try for the first girl, then try for the second girl, third girl, fourth girl, and so on, right? If this is the plan of this boy, right? If all these tries not work, his plan is to try another girl in his village. Okay, so this is the girl in the village. Okay, so these are the girls in the batch. So try these girls one by one. Try කරනවා යාට එයා හරිය නැත්නම් මෙයාව try කරනවා එමින් try කරගෙන යනවා. එකක්වත් හරි ගියේ නැහැ. Then what happens is, then the last option is available. ගමේ ඉන්න ගෑනු ළමයා කොහොමත් මෙයාට කැමතියි. හරි? මෙයා කැමති නැති වුණාට එයා කැමතියි. නැත්නම් ගෙදරින් ප්‍රොපෝස් කරපු කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා කියලා හිතන්න ඔයාලටත් වෙන්න පුළුවන් දේවල් මම කියන්නේ. That is the logic behind this boy. He's going to try, he's going to make a priority order. මෙයාට මුලින් try කරන එහෙම කළා දැන් try කරගෙන යනවා. First girl, second girl, third girl. Likewise, all the 5 girls were rejected. Then අර ගමේ ඉන්න girlට තමයි try කරන්නේ එහෙම. But the thing is that, let's say there's a එකෙනෙක් හරි කැමති වුණා කියමුකෝ. When you are trying, suddenly one of the girl is accepted, then will not try for other girls, no, as well as the girl in the village. Okay, this break means somebody accepted. Somebody accepted. කෙනෙක් කවුරු හරි කැමති වෙච්ච ගම අර අනික් කටියට try කරන්නේ නැහැ. ගමේ ඉන්න girlට try කරන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ වගේ. Okay, we will complete this. If a repetitive structure is terminated without, look at if a repetitive structure is terminated without executing the break statement. Repetitive structure means it is either for statement or while statement. No? Either for or while is terminated. Terminated means stop. Stop. How it is stop? Without the break statement, right? Without the break statement. That means this is only applicable for repetitive structures. Okay. Okay. Repetitive structures. Repetitive structures means either for or while. For එකක් එක්ක දාන්නත් පුළුවන්. While එකක් එක්ක දාන්නත් පුළුවන්. Is terminated. Terminated means stop. Terminated means stop. How it is stop? That means it is end of the range or the condition for while is not satisfied. Right? End. But there's another way to end, no? Right? Without executing break. Without end වෙලා තියෙන්නේ කොහොමද? Without executing break statement. Okay? Then else statement is also executed. Else statement is also executed. If the repetitive structure is terminated by executing the break statement, then the else statement is also not terminated. Right? Repetitive structure එක break වුණ නැතොත් repetitive structure එක කොහොමද break වෙනවනේ කියන්නේ break statement එක නැතුව break වෙනවනේ. Okay. Number of iterations ඉවර වෙලා break වෙනවනේ. එතකොට ඊළඟට else එකකට යනවා. ඒකයි වෙන්නේ. Okay, I am not going to have a break today. So what we can do is first you can try exercise 10. Exercise 11 is also based on the same if else for else statement. So first try to do exercise 10, then try to do exercise 11, then we will discuss some other questions. Okay, බලන්නකො මේක 10 11 දෙකම කරන්නකො. So try to do both 10 and 11. මේ ටික පොඩ්ඩක් හරියට තේරුම් ගත්තේ නැත්නම් පටලැවෙන්න බලනවා. මම ගොඩක් මේ පරිස්සමෙන් මේ එක්සැම්පල් සිලෙක්ට් කරලා දාලා තියෙන්නේ මේ ටික තේරුම් ගන්න ලේසි වෙන විදියට. හරි? Break, continue, then pass statement, finally else. When you try the example number 11, that else clause will be more clear. So in exercise 11, 2 to n means check whether R is a factor of n. If it is a factor, say is a factor and not prime. And under the else, we are going to put is prime. That means if it is not a prime number, only the prime number will be printed. Actually, if you think about C language coding of implementing this prime number example, it will be little bit difficult because of this logic is not available in C language. You have to use different if else situations and handle. You have to use additional variables and handle. Here is the smart way of handling it. මොකද අපිට නිතරම කරන්න වෙන එකක් නෙමෙයි නේද? හැමතිස්සෙම අන්තිම ඔප්ෂන් එකක් තියෙනවා. අන්තිම ඔප්ෂන් එකක් තියෙනෝනේ අර එකක්වත් හරියන්නේ නැත්තම්. ඒකයි. ඒ කියන්නේ අපිට හැමතිස්සෙම ලයිෆ් එකේ එහෙම එකක් තියෙනෝනේ. අපි මේ සෙට් එකටම try කරලා හරියන්නේ නැත්තම් එක්කෙනෙක්වත් හරියන්නේ නැත්තම් අපි කසාද බඳින්න නැතුව ඉන්නවා කියලා තීරණය කරන්න. එහෙම වෙන්නත් පුළුවන්. තේරෙනවද? මේ හතර දෙනාගෙන් කෙනෙක් තමයි බඳින්නේ නැත්තම් බඳින්නේ නැහැ කියලා ඉන්නත් පුළුවන්. else clause එකට දාන්න පුළුවන් එහෙම. හරි? නැත්තම් මම මේ ජොබ් එක try කරන මේක try කරන ඒ එකක්වත් හරියන්නේ නැත්තම් අත යනවා. හරි? ඒ වගේ එහෙම තියෙන. අන්තිම ඔප්ෂන් එක විදියට තියෙනවනේ. ලව් affairs වල මොන හරියට තියෙනවා. එකක්වත් හරියන්නේ නැත්තම් මරාගෙන මැරනවා කියලා හරි තියෙනවා. පහේ දවස්වල ඕන තරම් ඒ වගේ උනේ නේද? කියන්නත් හොඳයි නේද? මහාන වෙනවා කියලා තියෙනවලු එහෙම තියෙනවා. ඉස්සර නම් තිබ්බේ කට්ටියට අන්තිම ඔප්ෂන් එක රට යනවා වගේ තමයි තිබ්බේ. දැන් ඒක මුලින්ම ඔප්ෂන් එකක් විදියට දාන්න ඕන. රටවල් ඔක්කොටම ඇප්ලයි කරලා ඒකටවත් හරි ගියේ නැතෝ ඉතින් මේ ජොබ් එකක් කරනවා කියන්නේ දැන් තියෙන්නේ. 12. 2 is a factor, not prime. 13 දැම්මම මොකද වෙන්නේ? 13 is a prime. මොකද break වෙලා නැහැනේ. break වෙලා නැති හින්දා මෙතෙන්ට එනවා. දීලා තියෙන ඒවාට ටෙස්ට් කරලා බලන්න පුළුවන්. 5 zeros. 2 5 zeros 23. පොඩ වෙලා යනවා. First number is prime number. Second එක තියෙන ඒකටම 69 දාලා නේ තියෙන්නේ. 69. දෙකම prime නේ. So this is a prime tester, right? This program can be used to check whether any number is prime number or not. Clear? So prime number related problems are very common, right? Especially in projectular, in examinations. That's very common problem. You can see several projectular questions involved in prime numbers. If you look at the problem number 13, again, මේකම තමයි මෙහෙම තියෙන්නේ. All of you. So I'm going to use for n in range. N in range 1 to 101. Okay. Within that one, I'm going to put all these. What is inside the first for loop is the previous program. Now n is varying from 1 to 100. No. Therefore, what you can see is when you run this, what you can see is all the numbers. All the numbers. First, it will check for 1, 2, you know. 1 is prime. 2 is 1. Actually, 1 is not prime, right? 1. By definition, 1 is not prime. We start with 2. It says that 2 is prime, 3 is prime, 2 is a factor, therefore 4 is not a prime. So we can simply, we don't put this, skip this one. I'm going to only print prime numbers, right? And end with a comma. What happened is all the prime numbers will be printed from printed in between less than 100. All the prime numbers less than 100 will be 2, 5, 7, 11. මේක ලොකු number එකක් දැම්මම ටික වෙලා යනවා බලන්න. When we use large number, let's say you want the prime numbers in the range 10,000 to 5,000, 50,000. Here are the list of prime numbers in between 10,000 and 5,000. You can see that when the numbers are very large, it takes some time to compute. Okay. So when you're writing programs, all of you have to think about the efficiency of the program. In addition to the normal algorithm, you have to think about the efficiency of the program. So if you use uh, when n is 12, all of you look at when n is 12. When n is 12, we are going to check 2 to 11. If n is 12, we are going to check. We are going to divide by numbers from 2 to 11. But we know that it is after 6. Half the 12 is 6. No, මේකෙන් පස්සේ අපිට ඉස්සරහට යන්න වැඩක් නැති වෙනෝනේ. Sometimes n can be a integer. No? N can be an integer. Therefore, n divided by 2, n divided by 2, it is sufficient to check half the values. දෙකෙන් බෙදෙනවා නම් එහෙමනේ තියෙන්නේ. දෙකෙන් half වෙනකම් බැලුවන් ඇති. එතනින් එහා factors නැහැ. But we have to convert it into integer, because in range function we have to use an integer. So this program is a little bit advanced than or faster than this program, right? Normally when you are doing prime numbers, ඒකේ සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මෙන්න මෙහෙම කරන් ඇති. Square root එකට වෙනකම් ගත්තා නම් ඇති. It will little bit faster than that. You can see how the program is faster. There's a fact that if you want to check whether any number is prime number, it is sufficient to check half the numbers. So likewise, it is sufficient to check up to the square root of that number. ඇතියන්නේ 2.20 අතර prime numbers බලන්න. 2.20 අතර prime numbers තමයි මේකෙත් තියෙන්නේ. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, 6 is not a prime number. So better to add 1. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17. So these are the prime numbers. Here we check in from 2 to square root of n plus 1. It is rounded, no? That's why. So it is sufficient to check for half. Likewise, it is sufficient to check for square root. Likewise, there are certain fact when you are writing programs. Some cases you have to find it by searching internet and all. Then you can write the program in effective or faster manner. So now you are in a position to do a considerable amount of projectual questions. At least you can complete first 20 projectual questions, right? So in another session, not this September, October or November, we are going to complete the rest of the Python programming. Under that, we are going to discuss file handling, functions, data structures, and other related topics, right? With those additional topics, you can write down more effective, more advanced programs. So what I have covered so far is the basic part. Programming 1 correct. Here we covered the basic things. In other words, we covered up to advanced level. No, ordinary level. We covered up to ordinary level. Okay. The next, after completing next part, you will be in the advanced level situation. Okay, so we are going to stop. So you know the timetable for the next month, this month, no, September. We are doing electrical engineering as well as some computer science topics as well as some maths topics. We are going to do 3D geometry, polar coordinates as well as complex numbers. Okay, so I'm going to leave, right? So better to have a new book for electrical engineering. Huh? පිටු 120ක් 160ක් විතර 160ක් විතර යයි මං හිතන්නේ.